Hi again, everybody, and thanks for checking in with us. This is Love Letters to Pam, the Jack Church Show. That's the podcast, or of course, I know you may be watching via YouTube. That, of course, is Traveling with Jack and Pam. Put all that aside, though. First of all, you're thinking, why in the world is he sitting in his car again doing a podcast or a YouTube video? Well, here's the reason. I just got finished with a really great, about 6.5 mile hike in the Arizona desert off in that direction over there, and it's a Sunday afternoon. And that's when sometimes I have some of my best thoughts, and I thought, well, I just got to share this with somebody. It may only be one or two of you that will listen to this. Could be a few hundred of you that listen to it. Every now and then a few thousand. But anyway, here's the point. I had posted a little thing on my personal Facebook page about how today I visited a mega church. I mean, it was a mega church. Several thousand people attended there, and I took some pictures of their control room, which looked like something you'd see at the Olympics. I mean, it was amazing. And you want to talk about a production. They had an orchestra. They even had like the praise band team. They had singers. They had multiple pastors. They had all these screens going. They had all these lights going. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then they're sending this out to several other campuses across the Phoenix area. Now, I'm going to tell you, yeah, it was a pretty good service. It was exciting. And then I started thinking, well, I don't know. Am I supposed to say, was it exciting? I don't know. But I've gone to church pretty much my entire adult life. Pam and I were real active in churches. Never were members of mega churches. We were members of some larger churches, but that's all beside the point. I mentioned that while I was there, though, that I didn't meet anybody. Nobody came up and introduced themselves to me. Now, you might be saying, well, why didn't you go introduce yourself? Well, guess what? I did. And I did it in the embarrassing way that Pam used to get so upset with me for doing. I walked up to 3 or 4 people after the service and I said, "Hi, are you visiting?" And they looked at me and said, "Oh, no, we come here all the time." I said, "Well, I'm a visitor. My name's Jack. Good to meet you." They go, "Oh, okay." And that was about it. I mean, there was no real exchange. I did that with, to be honest, 4 different people. And 4 different people basically looked at me like I was a space alien. So anyway, I started thinking about it and I thought, well, I know all the people who are members of mega churches, they jump all on me, of course, and go, well, you got to get involved in small groups. You just got to get involved. You got to sign up with a small group, and that's how you get connected and you get to know and all. I know all about small groups. Pam and I used to lead some small groups, but they were in smaller churches. Now, here's the deal with small groups and the mega churches. First of all, you got to go online. You got to go through. Some of them may have 30, 40 different groups. You got to find the one. Okay, you got to make sure that you fit the right demographic, the right, if you're a guy or a girl, a couples class. Are you young? Are you old? Are you middle-aged? Are you retired? So you got to go through this whole process. And then eventually someone will hopefully contact you, or sometimes I've got a little email back saying, "Oh, we're sorry, that group is full. We would advise you to look into another group." I thought, oh boy, this is a lot of work. And they do. They kind of make it hard. And also when it comes to like volunteer for things. I volunteered at this one mega church here. It's for an activity that takes place outside of the church. And I won't get into what the specifics are. But I signed up about 5 weeks ago. They then told me I had to go through a background check and had to go through a bunch of forms. And so fine. I've still never gotten the forms, never been told how this is coming along or anything. So again, they make it kind of a long and hard process at a lot of these churches. Hey, I'm having to adjust the camera there because it's kind of tilting down. Anyway, the point being, it shouldn't be that hard to try and make connections and get to know people. And then you say, well, go to a little church. Well, I've gone to some smaller churches too. And I'm going to tell you, it's just how society is. They're just not real good at being forthcoming and introducing. And some of you are watching go, not at my church. No, we always go up and greet visitors and talk to them. Fine. Trust me, the vast majority are not that outgoing. They're just not. And I've got a few pastor friends who have also confirmed that it's a struggle to get their members to be outgoing and trying to engage with visitors, if in fact they even have visitors, because we're not seeing as many visitors as we used to see. Here's the point, though, that I want to make. If you just go out in the regular old world, like I did on the hiking trail, I meet more people out in public places in a single afternoon than I do after going to church for 6 weeks. It's just a fact. Case in point today. where I live at the condominium complex where I am. I met a young woman named Kelsey. She was struggling to get her television out of the back of her car. I said, hey, could you use some help? She said, I sure could. So I went over and I helped Kelsey unload the TV, and then we took it up to her place, unloaded it there. I gave her my number and my card, and I said, if you ever need anything, I said, please don't hesitate to contact me. And she gave me her number and said, you do the same as well. So there's that connection that I made just at the parking lot of where I live. Then I'm out for lunch, and I'm standing in line at a place where you order at the counter and then take it to your table. It wasn't a fast food place. It's actually a Texas barbecue house. I wanted to go there and they have great smoked turkey. It's a place called Rudy's, just in case you wanted to know. And anyway, there was a gentleman in line, an older gentleman, and we started talking a little bit, and I noticed he had this ring on. It was a really big ring. I said, hey, is that a sports championship ring? He goes, oh, no. He says, that's a fraternity ring. Ends up, he was part of a fraternity that I was familiar with that is found on HSBC campuses, and I've had a couple of friends who were in those fraternities. Ends up, he had moved here from Atlanta. His name is Carl, and he also heads up an international studies program, an archive, I don't know, something to do with history. But anyway, we struck up a conversation, and Carl goes, hey, he says, I'm new to the area, could certainly use a friend here and there. And I said, me too. So Carl and I, we exchanged cards, and we'll likely be getting back in touch with each other soon. And then let me take you to another example of how I meet somebody, again, outside of church. Yesterday, Saturday, I had those tickets for a spring training baseball game, and I had actually done a program how it was really bothering me that I kept asking all these acquaintances I made, and nobody could go to the game, and I was getting kind of down about it. Well, it ends up, I went to the game, I stood outside the stadium, I had these 2 extra passes, I ended up meeting this guy named Jeff from Dallas, Texas. We ended up sitting together at the game. We had a great time visiting back with one another. He works in commercial real estate. Long story short, he was just in town for a friend from California who rents a big house here for his birthday every year. It was going to be his 70th birthday, I think. They then contacted me and said, hey, why don't you come to the birthday party tonight? I don't know any of these people. I've just met Jeff at the baseball game. At first, I'm like, oh, no. I said, that's really nice. I'm not going to do that. And then eventually I said, oh, what the heck? Sure, I'll come. So I went, and my gosh, these were some of the nicest people I could have ever imagined. Everybody wanted to exchange contact information. I've already heard from 2 or 3 of them. Jeff's already texted me a couple, 3 times. He's already back in Dallas. Again, the point being, these are perfect strangers that I'm meeting out and about and making connections. When you would think you go to church, it shouldn't be that hard to meet people. That's all I'm saying. Now, again, we're not going to get into a debate about church here, okay? There is no debate. The bottom line for me and for a lot of other people is churches just don't do a good job at connecting people who are visiting and such. Oh, if you're part of the club, it's all good. But for me, I'm going to tell you, just meeting people here out and about. Now, no, I'm not run over with so many friends that I don't know what to do with them. It's still a process. But at least I feel pretty doggone good when I'm out and come away from the day going, well, that was nice. I met such and such. I met such and such. And even if I never hear from them again, it was just nice to be recognized and to acknowledge, so to speak, and have conversations, which I didn't have at church. So what I'm saying is, don't give up. I love that Jim Valvano speech. You remember him, the North Carolina State coach, dying of cancer, who just told people in general, when it comes to life, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever, ever give up. And so I guess that's what I'm saying. Let's not give up. I'm not going to give up on making friends and connections. I'm going to keep trying. And I'll probably still attend church. And sometimes I do meet people at church. There's actually a smaller church here that I do attend from time to time. And I have met several people there. So it's happening. But the point being, church, you got a little work to do out there. And I might mention too, I actually sent an email to one of those mega churches about what I'd encountered and told them it's kind of difficult. I never heard back from them. No, not a single email. They're too busy. We know that. They're too busy. They got 5,000 people they're trying to take care of. Hey, that's about it. I'm sure I made somebody mad with this podcast. I know I made you mad. You, and you. Maybe some of you shook your head and went, oh, no, I actually agreed. Maybe some of you went, I don't know. Hey, consider the price you pay for these little pontifications that I'm giving. Is that what I've... Nah, that makes no sense. Hey, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Make it a great day. Better yet, make it a better tomorrow. Bye now from my car.